welcome to the channel. In today's short from the Genesis story, we learn about Cain and Abel, the first murder in history. After Adam and Eve sinned and were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, they had two sons, Cain and Abel. Now, these two brothers lived a long time ago, way before there were any laws or policemen. One day, while Abel was out tending to his flock, Cain went up to him and killed him. "Whoever kills you shall be punished 7 times, he who takes your life, and you must be cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand." Then God made a mark on Cain so that no one would kill him, and he left that place and built a city. Now, this story has a lot of lessons for us today. First, we must never let jealousy get out of control. If we do, we may end up hurting someone, and that would be a sin against God. Second, we should never try to hide from God. No matter what we do, He already knows everything. And third, we should remember that God accepts people who are humble and repent of their sins. Even though Cain was angry and jealous, God was still willing to forgive him if he had asked for forgiveness, but he didn't. Instead, he tried to blame others for what he did. This was a horrible crime, but it was also a very serious sin against God. When we do, we'll feel good about ourselves and will be pleasing to God. But when we choose to do what is wrong, like Cain, we will only hurt ourselves and those around us. Let's remember this important lesson and always try to be more like Abel than Cain. You see, even though there were no laws back then, there still was a standard for right and wrong. And deep down, Cain knew that what he did was wrong. That's why, after he committed the murder, he tried to hide from God. But do you think God was really going to let Cain get away with what he did? Of course not. God asked Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" And Cain lied to God, saying, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" How could he ask God such a silly question? Of course, he was Abel's keeper. They were brothers. But Cain was trying to say that he didn't know what happened to Abel, because he was so ashamed of what he did. He hoped that God wouldn't get angry at him, but God already knew what happened. He asked again, "What have you done?" The Lord asked, "The blood of your brother's cry is crying out to me from the ground." Then Cain was finally sorry for what he did. He said, "I'm sorry, God. I didn't mean to do it. I just got so angry that my offering wasn't accepted." But it was too late. God had accepted Abel's offering because he was righteous, but he couldn't accept Cain's offering because he was full of anger and jealousy. So if someone did something bad, there was no one to punish them. It was up to each person to decide what was right and wrong, and usually people knew that killing someone was wrong. But it wasn't always easy to do the right thing, especially when someone was jealous, and that's exactly what happened with Cain. He had an older brother named Abel, and every time Abel gave an offering to God, God was pleased. But when it was Cain's turn, God wasn't pleased with his offering. Now, this made Cain very angry. In fact, he was so angry that he wanted to kill his brother Abel. Now, most of us have felt jealous at some point. Maybe your friend got a better grade than you, or maybe someone took your favorite toy when you were a child. But no matter how jealous we get, the Bible tells us that we must never take our anger to the point of wanting to hurt someone. Because once we do, we're taking a big step towards sinning. And the more we think about doing that, the easier it will be to actually commit the sin. And that's exactly what happened with Cain. Instead of asking God to help him control his anger, Cain decided to do something terrible. God told Cain, "You will wander over the earth as a fugitive and a vagabond." Friends, the story of Cain and Abel is a reminder that we should always choose to do what is right. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and comment.